Hey there, true crime friends. It is time for True Crime at Lunchtime. Or was I calling it Lunchtime True Crime? I don't remember. Anyway, I make these videos in advance because, I'm busy working, doing my life. And then I'd set them to release at lunchtime. So you can sit there and have your little sandwich. Hopefully not bologna. Hopefully you got something good like some honey turkey from Boar's Head or something like that. Not a sponsor, just facts. When you're having your lunch, you can sit there, put in your earphones, and you can watch some nice true crime, child, because we can sit here and talk about it. Like and subscribe this video to keep the true crime coming. And here we go. Wait. I have my sunshine water bottle today. Okay, so look. We need to talk about Miss Candy Montgomery. Now, there's a Snapped episode about Candy Montgomery. Oh, but everybody in the world has done a TV show about Candy Montgomery. I think HBO or Cinemax or somebody like that did a thing called Candy. It's like many parts of a miniseries. Child, you don't need all that. You don't need to do 500 hours. I can sum this whole situation up in 5, maybe 10 minutes. Look, this is what happened. Candy Montgomery was living down there in Texas with her husband. She had a child and she was going to church like these ladies do. What is it about meeting your paramour at church? I do not understand. Anyway, so she was a nice church lady. And this other dude, I remember his name, Mr. Gore, because she didn't kill him. She killed his wife. But anyway, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Candy was going to church, singing in the choir like a good Christian should, right? And then and she also played volleyball. She did some other stuff. She was doing all the nice church things like you're supposed to do to be a good human. And so she saw this dude at choir rehearsal or volleyball something. She was like, oh, I think I want me some of that. So she started lusting after this other woman's husband. That is violating one of the commandments, makes you not a good Christian. So she started sleeping with this dude, but she didn't just randomly, they didn't fall into bed. She was like, I think that you and I should have an intimate encounter. And he was like, say what now? And she was like, we should do it Tuesday at 3:00. Oh, they scheduled they mess. Oh yeah. Listen, I would be furious if my husband fell into bed with another lady. I would not stab that other lady. I would not. Would I stab him? Yes. Probably. There's an excellent chance of stabbation if Mr. Gossip, Rumor, and Innuendo loses his mind and falls in bed with another woman. But that's a topic for another day. Anyway, so these two were like, okay, Tuesday at 3:00 at the No-Tell Motel. That's where we gonna be. So they plotted it and they planned it and they met at the hotel and they had an agreement. This is just a physical thing because we're not getting what we need at home. This is just a physical thing. No emotions. Okay. And then they pinky promised or whatever you do. They probably promised with some other things, but you know what I'm saying. So they start getting together all the time. It was supposed to be like an every now and then thing. Like you go to church, you fornicate, you go play volleyball, you make, cookies for the PTA. But it kind of got to be a little bit of a habit. And maybe they got addicted to it. You know how you could get addicted to the good, because sometimes it just be like that, especially when you're young and moist and stuff. So anyway, Candy was real addicted to this other woman's husband. Shame. So she was like, okay, I should maybe stop because the church just preached 3 whole sermons on fornication. I'm starting to feel like they talking about me, but maybe they're not. And so the dude was like, did you hear the sermon on fornication? I think we should stop. I'm going to work on my marriage. And this was the 80s. So they did marriage encounter. That's when you go to a hotel for the weekend and you spend 3 days looking into each other's eyes with other couples and a facilitator. And you decide that you're going to recommit to your marriage. So that's what they did. And so her boyfriend, who was married, was like, we did marriage encounter and I'm going to get back together with my spouse and I'm going to really work on it. And you should do the same. And Candy was like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So she's over doing vacation Bible school and she has her kids and she has her boyfriend's kids because, they church family, they church friends. So she has all the kids and she was like, oh, sweetheart, did you bring your swimsuit? You didn't? I'm going to drop by your mama's house and I'm just going to pick up that swimsuit. Hang on. Y'all, hold down the vacation Bible school. I will be right back. I'm just going to dash right over here to Betty Gore's house and pick up the swimsuit for her baby. So she goes over to Betty Gore's house. Hello, knock, knock. Hey, Betty girl, I just need that swimsuit. Betty was like, oh, I thought you was at vacation Bible school. Come on in. So they go in and they talk, and Candy gets the swimsuit, and they start to chit chat. Have you done your marriage encounter? I was slobbing your husband's knob the other day, and oh, did I tell? Wait, so me and him have a thing, and we not gonna stop. I don't know that that's what the conversation was, and Candy is not a reliable narrator, and the other lady in the conversation was dead, so we probably will never know. So anyway, they had some sort of conversation, which turned into an altercation, and then Candy proceeded to tap Betty upside the head many, many, many times with an axe. Listen, you might get mad. A pan is the natural weapon. In my opinion, you're already in the kitchen, or even a knife. Oh no, she didn't go to knife. She went straight to axe. Something like 14 times or 37 times. It was a lot. Like, you might slip and boop, accidentally axe somebody once or twice. 14 times, serious overkill. So the husband, Mr. Gore, was out on a business trip in St. Paul, Minneapolis. I don't know why they were specific about the Twin Cities. Leave the Twin Cities alone. So Betty was like dead on the floor, and Candy was like, "Ooh, I have killed my sister in Christ. So I'm gonna need to take a shower." So she takes a shower and she washes up and she tries to clean things up, and she was like, "It's just too much blood." So she goes back to her house. She gets a swimsuit because, the baby still need her swimsuit for the swim lesson. She gets a swimsuit and she goes on back to, she goes home, takes a shower, changes her clothes, and she goes on back to Vacation Bible School. Now she's been gone for an hour and a half. Girl, it does not take an hour and a half to pick up a swimsuit. So everybody was like, hey, what's going on, Candy? She's like, oh no, I just got hot. I changed my clothes. And so let's go talk about Noah and the ark. So she went on back to Sunday school. Meanwhile, the husband is over there in the Twin Cities. He's trying to call his wife, and he's like, how come I can't get her on the phone? So he says to the neighbor, hey neighbor, can you go check on my wife? And the neighbor goes in and was like, oh, dead woman on the floor. 911 calls the police. The police do a complete investigation, and they call Mr. Gore, and he was like, oh, look at Betty. Dead on the floor. He did not seem bothered, excited, nothing. He was real calm and relaxed. So they were like, obviously he killed her this morning before he flew to the Twin Cities, so we're gonna arrest him. But they asked him all the questions and they checked his alibi, and this was the 80s, so nobody had a cell phone. And they were like, looks like he did it. This case is gonna go cold. But they started asking around, and one of the neighbors was like, I think I saw Candy Montgomery stop by, and there was a 5-year-old little girl who had knocked on the door to play with the kids in the house. And the mom was like, she said nobody answered. They were at Vacation Bible School, but the 5-year-old did not know that. So the 5-year-old was like, Mr. Policeman, I saw Candy Montgomery. I'm friends with her kids. She was here, but nobody answered the door. So maybe she's a killer. That's not what the 5-year-old said. But anyway, the cops was like, hey, Candy girl, can we talk to you for a minute? And Candy was like, yeah, of course. Can I make you a cup of tea? I made these nice brownies. Do you know about Noah and the ark? Do you know where you're going when you die? You know how they do. So, they started talking to her, and she was like, yeah, I changed my clothes. Yeah, I was there. I hit her with the axe 14 times, but it was self-defense. And they were like, Right. Tell us more about the self-defense. And she was like, yeah, we got me and her husband and the fornication, blah, blah, blah. And she attacked me. And we wrestled for the axe, and I took it away from her, and I hit her with it 14 times, and she was unfortunately dead. And the girl needed her swimsuit, and the kids was not going to learn about Noah if I was not there to teach them, the animals 2 by 2. So I had to go back to Vacation Bible School because, we running short of teachers. Not everybody can stay home and teach the kids about the Lord. And so the police were like, right, nice bracelets for you. We're going to put you in the cage. So she was like, okay. And so she goes to court, and she gets up there and testifies on her own behalf about the self-defense. Now, listen. I do not know how charming this Candy lady is, but apparently she is very, very charming because she managed to convince a jury of her peers that she accidentally killed Betty Gore in self-defense with 14 axe blows. That is amazing. I would like to think that I am something of a raconteur, right? I'm a good storyteller. I can weave a yarn. And so if I had to kill somebody in self-defense with an axe, I would like to think that I could convince the police and it wouldn't even get to the court portion of it. But if we got to court, I would like to think that I could talk my way out of it. But something tells me unlikely to happen. Turns out, Miss Candy, oh, child, she got skills. She got skills I don't know nothing about. Because Miss Candy, oh, she talked herself right out of a murder conviction. And they acquitted her. Listen, people in Texas, what are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? It must have been all men. And she must have had on like a low cut, something with the things pushed up. I do not understand. This had to be a jury of men. That's all I'm going to say. It was 1980 something. And so maybe only men got jury duty back. I do not understand. But shout out to you, Miss Candy Montgomery. I'm not going to say nothing bad about you because you out here free in these streets and you can come over here and ask me who's behind me. I don't know. Anyway, so she got set free. And so her husband was like, Greg, now that you out asking people, me and you gonna have to get divorced. So he divorced her and moved away and married somebody else. The other dude, Betty Gore's husband, also married somebody else and it went on with her happy life. Unclear what happened to Candy after that, but her children grew up. She's now a grandma in her 70s. What do you say to grandma or about grandma when your grandmother is a certified killer? Like, do you complain when she shows up late? If her cookies have nuts, but you didn't want nuts, if she added raisins to the oatmeal, but you don't really like raisins, are you like, no, grandma, it's delicious. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Please don't kill me. Listen, on my favorite podcast, that is the Reality Gaze, Maddie and Poodle. Oh, I love Reality Gaze podcast. I like lots of podcasts, but that's among my favorites. Maddie talks about his grandma Hazel, who got mad at a woman and hit her with a chili can. Now, grandma Hazel been dead, but he's still talking about grandma Hazel hitting a woman with the chili can. But he's from Oklahoma, and he's like, well, that's just a Southern story. That's how that goes. Is Betty and the axe now just a Southern story? Like, is that what the grandkids are? Remember that time my grandma killed that lady with the axe? Oh, she's hilarious. She makes a mean carrot cake, though. I don't know how it goes. All of that to say, be careful. Be careful out there, y'all. Listen, if a woman is fornicating with your husband, let her have him. He can go. They both tainted. I don't want to talk to neither one of you. You get out of my house, get off my front porch. No, we don't have no axes. You're not coming over here to ax me because I ain't really do nothing. Why is it that the woman always gets killed and not the man? These women should just be killing the men. That makes sense. I do not advocate murder. Gossip, rumor, and innuendo does not publicly advocate for the murder of cheaters. But what I'm saying is, it seems very unfair that the wives end up off and the man is like off married to somebody else. She needed to put some Visine or rat poison or whatever in his dinner. But again, the views expressed by me are not necessarily the views of me in my capacity as the head gossip in charge. Okay, before I talk myself into jail, I'm gonna let y'all go. So enjoy the rest of your lunch. Have a great, safe day. We will be back here at this time tomorrow to talk about more true crime at lunchtime. Also, I will see you in the morning for my regular morning true crime check-in. In the meantime, like and subscribe. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.